Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love is Blind, Season 10, Episode 6 and 7. I am joined here with Shay, my co-host. Shay?
Hi, friends. Welcome back.
Yay. So my name is Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as 90 Day Fiancé, Love After Lockup, Love is Blind, and Seeking Sister Wife. So if you are at all interested in that content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If while watching this, you get the hee hee ha-has and you want to give your girl a tip, you can do so with the options that are in the description box. We are talking episodes 6 and 7 of the Ohio, not a specific city because I couldn't find enough people in that whole state.
Yeah.
In one city of Love is Blind season 10. And girl, it's messy. It's like they're so far away from what season 1 and even season 2 was meant to be. It is hilarious.
It's not the same show at all.
It's not the same show.
Yeah.
So we start off with this episode. It's episode 6. It's called Never Have I Ever, and the couples are in Cabo, and they actually end up playing the game Never Have I Ever. And when has that game ever yielded positive results?
Not in my lifetime. Not the times that I've played either. So it's not limited to this group of folk.
Yeah. So we are hot off the interactions that they had at their group meet. So after when they're in the Mexican or the tropical place, they always have a couple days, or feels like 2 days by themselves as couples, and then they have like a meetup with the other couples. And so it's that next day where they're going to have the meetup, and it's the morning of, and they all have their personal cam, and Ashley and Alex have had sex, and it was great. It's Connor's birthday. Emma is feeling weird about possibly having to see Connor, because remember, Connor was her first choice.
Yes.
So they all meet, and it's Connor's birthday. They sing happy birthday to him, and they're all just kind of talking, and Emma feels weird about seeing Connor, but she's like, doesn't really say anything. She's kind of like, okay, I'm not ready to talk to him. And then Chris and Devontae end up having a conversation in which, Chris and Devontae are talking about the fact that they haven't had sex yet, and but she's okay with being touched and rubbed, and which is very confusing. She's okay with being touched and rubbed, and she turns to Devontae and says to him, you're making it so, you're making it hard for me to stop. And so Devontae is relaying this conversation to Chris, and Chris is like, oh, you're making it so hard to stop, Poppy. And at that point, I knew that he was a dick. I said, you don't get to just go, oh, she's a Latino woman, so everything she says must be said with a Poppy at the end of it. Fuck you.
Yeah,
you're a dick. You're MAGA. You're racist. Go ahead.
I'm quite surprised that that's the moment where that showed up for you.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, my friend, but I feel like that little
show up for you?
lawn gnome we had seen. I don't know. I seen hints of his weirdness in the pods with Chris, Bree, Connor, like that whole little trifecta. I thought he was giving weird energy then, but yes, it was proven in that conversation with him. I also hate pillow talk with other couples. It's pillow talk. Stays on the pillow.
Yeah.
Also, y'all not friends.
Devontae allowing him to say that about his wife.
That's how I knew he didn't like her anyway.
Yeah.
It was clear he didn't. But that, I was like, yeah, you don't allow people to talk that way about people you care about.
Yeah. Hey, he's on with the Poppy shit. But yes, sentiment is the same thing.
Like, not too much. Not too much on my girl.
Not too much on my girl with the Poppy shit. Like, don't be putting words in my girl's mouth. You don't know how she fucking talks to me in private.
Like,
so Bree feels like this is all very surface level, and she wants to acknowledge the pod relationships and the pod connections. And I'm actually don't feel anything wrong with that. I think it's very weird. And this is because I'm not somebody who's like, I'm super single, so I don't understand X and X's relationship. I think anytime anyone talks about how, well, now you can't be friends with your ex. If you follow your ex on social media, that means that you're still willing to go back and have sex with them. Or if you if you had a connection with somebody in the pods, you shouldn't want to talk to them because now that relationship is dead. And I think Bree is absolutely correct. Like in the real world, people can't just shut off their feelings like that. And if you want to have a quick conversation with Chris to be like, hey, we had a thing. Remember, we were almost engaged. How are you? Like, wasn't that wild? I'm glad you picked the person. I'm happy I picked the person I picked, and I'm happy you're happy.
I think how she went about it was weird because I think she was hell bent on getting other people to feel the same way she did. And she kept going like, "Isn't it weird? No one's talking about. Isn't it weird? Like, girl, it's if it's weird to you, that's fine. But if no one else has brought it up, you don't need to try to corral them into your reasoning." And I thought because it came across that she was doing it that way, it came off excessive to me.
Okay.
And because to me, I'm like, if you feel that way and you want to have a conversation with them, then it can just happen. Having to declare it makes it weird. I thought that's what made it weird because and it's part of the process in the show that when they all get together, there's a little bit of like, oh my gosh, so that's so and so. Oh my, yeah, we were locked in for a little bit, or like there was a point when they were my number one. Yeah, oh yeah, I'll make my way and chat it up a little bit, but it doesn't become this like talking point where now it's part of the storyline. I don't know if I'm making sense there, but like,
Yeah.
I just thought she dragged it on for too long, and I thought also it's her man's birthday, and you keep talking to him about your second connection and about how you want to talk to him and want to talk to him, you want to talk to him. He went through the same thing. He knows that there were other connections. He knows that there were other dynamics. He knows that. You don't have to keep reminding him. He knows that. But you keep insisting and insisting and insisting. And it's his birthday. It was a lot. I thought she was moving real weird with it in that way. I don't think this having the feeling was weird though.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So the couples, I mean, the groups are all talking. The guys kind of faction up, the girls faction up, and the guys are sitting around, and they're like, "What is it that you like about Bree, Connor?" And Connor's like, "She just doesn't shut the fuck up, but she lets me be me." And I don't know. I mean, listen, I got used to people gratuitously cussing for no reason after living in New York City.
Okay, yeah.
Because it didn't happen to me outside of that. New York City, I was like, everyone's just cussing all the
Oh
time
yeah, that's why I
for
cuss.
no fucking reason. And that is kind of, and it took me a while to get out of it after I got back because I was cussing too. And I still do it. I literally in my head constantly are thinking like, get the fuck out of here. Like it is
right,
a
like
part,
that's your internal voice.
it's my internal, like, and sometimes I'll say it out loud now that I'm no longer HR. I'll be like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck?
Let it fly,
Like,
girl.
shut the fuck up. Like, I will do all that,
How good does that feel? Get that shit off your chest.
because it's New York. Because I lived in New York. But
Yeah.
I can't have someone that I'm starting to get to know tell his not even real homeboys.
Yeah.
Tell some group of strangers that he happened to spend 10 days with that I don't shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Okay?
Yeah.
If we're gonna say fuck you.
And I will say, Bree comes off as the type of person who has probably heard that all her life. Like she was probably the ones in school who was like, she can be a little disruptive, but she's really engaged and she's da 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 da, and she has a lot of opinions. And I could see that being something that's kind of followed her throughout her life.
But you still can't tell me shut the fuck up.
No, right, exactly. But I'm saying her watching this back, that's hurtful to have someone speak that way about you in a group of strangers, essentially. And when they ask you about what they like about you, that's the first thing you say. That's hurtful.
Yeah. But he's like, she lets me be me, and I'm like, we're gonna see in subsequent episodes that she does not really let you be you because you are a slob. But anyways, so we move. So we, everyone's talking. Some of the things that stood out to me, and you can say what stood out to you is, Alex ends up talking to Brittany, and he ends up telling Brittany that Ashley is not his normal type, and that he likes dark features. He's like, of course she's hot. Like he sees her coming out, and we're like, yes, Alex, she is hot. We wish you wouldn't say that because your fiance or your wife maybe is going to see this, and she's going to know that you're not necessarily attracted to her when we know that she loves to fuck. But like that's hurtful. And so then Mike starts to tell us that Emma is messy. And like I unfortunately am somebody who cannot be like, I'm messy by myself. When I get with somebody else, I'm very much aware that I can't have my mess encroach. And the way he's talking about it is that she just like takes off her clothes and leaves it like in the bathroom on the side, like on the ground. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So now we know there's a kink in her armor and she's messy. She may seem like she has everything together and like that she's a well-rounded individual, but she's messy. So Amber ends up saying that she's so excited that she's with Jordan because up until him, she's had a strong distaste for men. And I said, Amber, you and me both, sis. Yeah. I really hate them. Like, until they prove themselves to be worthy of my time and attention, like, I am just constantly like, don't fucking talk to me. If you're not going to give me money, don't stop it. I don't want to have just like random, like you, can you hand me your resume first? Hand me your resume.
Right. Let me read this. Give me a minute.
I need a video like
a PowerPoint deck.
Yeah. I need 3 of your homegirls who are not related to
references
and video before you can fucking talk to me. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. I hate them. And so anyway, so she says that and she's like, I'm so happy because Jordan actually like makes me feel like there's, and it's true. I feel like I'm like, let me take Jordan home. I think that of all the men there, Jordan is the one that I'm like, aw, I'll shave your back.
I think he's being really himself. And I think he's comfortable just being authentic. And that comes across a lot. I do think he's a good guy. And I think he's putting his best foot forward. And surprisingly, we haven't really talked much about them as a couple. But I think we haven't really talked much about the couples that we kind of believe in. That we're like, I can see it. This makes sense. Y'all are cool. Enjoy each other.
So each of the couples have a debrief about how, they do this all the time where they have a drunk debrief about how they had thought the night went. So Mike is like, oh, I'm so surprised at Amber because she's a kid. Look how hot she is. And I said to myself, this is 10 seasons of this show. There is no one on this show who isn't hot. Also, 2 seasons ago, we had another woman who had a baby and she was unarguably one of the hottest women on the show. Like there are plenty of women who have children who look good.
Oh,
especially if they only have one.
Yeah.
Like, so the fact that he was like shocked, I was like, what did they expect? What did they expect her to look like? What did he expect her to look like?
Maybe like she lived under a bridge or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
And you can tell that a lot of these men aren't around real women.
Fucking idiots. They're all stupid. And I was like, fuck, Mike is just, it was either Mike or Alex. I had put Mike, but it could have been Alex. It was a dark-haired individual. And I was just like, you're stupid for saying that. He's like, yeah, I was surprised about Amber because she knew she was a kid. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyways, I hate Ben. So Emma didn't expect for Connor to look the way he looked. I don't know what that meant. She wouldn't expound on it.
Elaborate on that, no.
Yeah. And Mike is like, I'm worried because you're messy. So Devontae is having a hard time. He's doing his best with Brittany, but he's also like pulling away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And she tries to call him out on it. Brittany, and he gets upset. So then we move on to Bree. Bree tells Connor that she wanted more genuine conversations with the other people she dated. And that, Connor gets upset because he's like, were you hoping that Chris had pulled you aside? And she's just like, well, no, I guess I'm just spitballing what I'm thinking right now. And I just wish that there were more actual conversation about what happened. And, she's like, you don't feel that about Emma? And he's like, no, I don't feel that about Emma.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, because you broke up with Emma. And she's like, well, I definitely need a part 2. So we already know that they're going to have a conversation.
She said or 3.
Oh.
She said it part 2 or 3, she said. And I was like, really?
Wow.
Weird.
So it's the next morning. Brittany feels lonely in the morning because she says that he's disappeared. And she feels like, that she's having like an anxious day and that, she doesn't feel like he likes her. And I thought, oh my God, what a terrible position to be in as a woman, to be so concerned with what another man, or even a man that you just met this man.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I just don't want to have to find you in the morning. And I'm like, please be gone out of the bed in the morning. Can I have a moment?
But I think Brittany wants to be wanted. Because I think she's not even thinking about if she likes him. She knows she doesn't. But I think she's focused on like, you're not on me, you're not paying attention to me, you're not me. Like, where's your energy towards me? Even though at the end of the day, I really think she's like, wait, I don't like you.
Yeah.
So why am I that pressed? It's because you want to be wanted. And I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to be desired. But if it's from someone you don't desire back, who gives a fuck?
But it's just like, damn, like, can you imagine being in that constant state of like worrying about whether or not, like in the morning, you're like, where'd they go? In the morning, I'm like, thank God. Let me just my breath. Like, did I fart? Like,
Yeah.
was I snoring? Can I just have a moment? Like, let me get some coffee and chill. And then if I see them, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I
But
don't need
in partnership, when they went to bed together, I don't want to say she's
in
needy because I don't
partnership
think that's
is
fair.
crazy. That's crazy. Listen, as somebody who grew up with a 2-parent household, and this is not a flex.
Yeah.
Them niggas do what they want to do in the morning every morning. It is
But that
separate
means
event.
but they likely dated longer and
Oh
knew
yeah,
each
no,
other longer.
my
So I
parents,
think this bit is all
I'm
surface level emotions for her.
yeah, my parents dated for 6 months before they got married, but then were married for 6 years before they had kids. So like by the time I knew them,
Bravo.
they knew each other. And
Yeah.
they don't do shit together. I mean, they do things together, but not the
Yeah.
mundane.
Right.
My mom is not worried about where my dad is at 6 a.m. And my dad for sure ain't worried about where my mom is.
Right.
Like these two niggas is doing whatever they want to do. They check in. They check in. Oh, are you going? And I'm going to here. I'll be gone and I'll be back. And then
Right.
then one can't find the other, and they're like, "Call your father. Where's
Right.
your mother?" And then we become the carrier
Yep.
pigeons. They don't even try to find each other. They tell us to find them.
Yep. They're like,
So,
hey, sort it out. Where'd she go?
I don't know what this is like to be like, I wanted to wake up with you and look at you in your eyes and cuddle for a little. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But that's what I mean. It goes back to what you were talking about. Brittany wants the fairy tale.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And I think that right. But she doesn't want it to be bullshit. She wants that to be so true. She wants her Disney story. Everything about her, every phase of this process has proven that she wants this fairy tale.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. I
It's
guess
exhausting.
I'm turning against her. Yeah, because it is exhausting. I'm tired. So then they have an activity day where all the couples are doing different activities. There's like some ski doing, which is like jet skiing, maybe not jet skiing. But I don't know. Brittany's on the back of some like motorized water vehicle with Devontae, and it don't feel like he's taking her feelings into consideration at all. Like I've been on the back of whatever that motorized water vehicle is with my brother, and I vowed I would never get on the back of that shit with anyone else. And I can't. I would need to be driving because my brother was so disrespectful. I was just like, I was so scared, and he didn't give a fuck. He was having a great time. And I was like, "Oh, never again! I'm driving it next time. I have to drive it because I have to be in control. I'm the oldest sister. I must be in control. You can't be driving me around doing whatever." But they do like some kind of sand surfboarding. They do just different activities as a couple. And so Devontae ends up admitting that he's getting. I put getting quell nothing box when he is hot. Oh, when he gets quiet, he goes into his nothing box. And that, that especially when he's hot, girl, he don't want to be touched or talked to.
He did also say that he was, grieving and thinking about how his family was doing. And I think it wasn't just that his grandfather passed. I think obviously he missed the funeral and like a bunch of other stuff. And it seemed like all of that was happening while they were in Mexico.
Yeah, because I can't imagine
being communicate any of that.
I can't imagine being in a tropical paradise and knowing that my family is fully going through like
stuff. You're in your head.
Yeah. And so she's like, but you just haven't told me that I'm pretty, and you haven't like said anything about like how I look. And so at this point, I'm like, Brittany, girl, if you talk about, and it's the editing, but she also said it. It's just like constant, like you're not touching me. If it's too much for you to touch me without having sex, then like we can have sex. It's just that kind of thing of like
wild though.
He's so wild.
Betraying her own boundaries.
Yep, absolutely.
Just to be wanted.
And her boundaries are fake, and they're a fake modesty.
Yeah.
So Alex is telling Ashley that he can get a job wherever he wants, whenever he wants, and he's proved that. And then we like start to really kind of realize like how much of a nomad he is. And so the fact that he's like doing Love is Blind Cleveland or Ohio is just like happenstance, because he could do Love is Blind Florida and he could do Love is Blind Arizona.
Right.
Like it
That's why
depends
I was
on.
like, so I don't think he's ever even lived in Ohio. That's why I
Yeah,
was
but
like, why are you on this season?
he has a place in Ohio though. It's like he must have enough of a social media presence to where they reached out to him. I'm pretty sure he did. Like none of these people.
He said they contacted him on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. Because none of these people like apply anymore. It's all headhunted.
Which is crazy because I think the first couple seasons was people applying into it like, I'm ready for marriage. I've made this, I'm self-aware. I've made this assessment of myself. Having to go out there and headhunt it, you're not getting people who are eager to settle down. You're not getting the right population for the show.
But they're also telling them like, you don't have to want to get married like immediately. This is You're not going to get far on the show. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
That's
None
why
of these
all
people
gone in
are,
the shitter.
maybe the women are, but for sure, and some of the men. But like I feel like Jordan might be like, sure, I'm ready to get married. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I won't make it. I'm fat.
Right.
And then he makes it. And he gets with this hot ass woman. So
yeah.
And so he's just like, just kind of talking about with his vibrato like energy about how he's like, yeah, I can move anywhere. I just want to make sure that you understand that we're not going to stay in Cleveland, Ohio. Like we're not staying in Ohio. So like you got to figure that shit out, because like I'm going to either be in Florida or Arizona. Like those are the two places I want to be, someplace hot. And she's like, I want to be someplace hot too. He's like, great. So we have Chris's birthday now, and they go into town. They're in some old-fashioned car, and they drive into town, and they're eating tacos, which is like, god damn it, I want to good tacos.
Oh, I don't remember this.
They talk about how she's like older than him and how he, may or may not want kids. And he's like, I don't want kids. And he's like, nobody in my family would ever be like, oh yeah, Chris is family man and wants kids. And she's like, thank God. And because that's the one thing I worried about. So it's like they're on the opposite end of the spectrum between Emma and Mike. Right. It's just like, she's like, yeah, that ship is, I'm too busy. Like I'm knee deep in my career.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have kids. And he's like, don't worry. Nobody in my family is expecting me to have kids. Like, no one takes me seriously. And that should have been her first red flag.
Yeah. You're right. It is a kind of juxtaposition in comparison to Emma and Mike. I think this is one of the first seasons where we've seen so many different perspectives on the whole children front. I think we typically either get one or the other, but this one definitely had a combination of both. And it's really interesting to see the different conversations happening around it. But, they're starting to be more direct and upfront versus the pitch perfect stuff in the pods, the lovey-dovey shit because you're on vacation in Mexico. And then the masks start to come off. And I think that's where we are with all these couples.
Yeah. I honestly think that this is the first season where we've even had people say that no, they don't want kids.
Yeah.
Like
normally I haven't seen any of the international ones, but in the US ones for sure.
There's international ones?
Yeah. There's Brazil, there's
Italy,
there's
I can't.
Mexico,
unfortunately, I have to be in like a quiet space to be able to just read subtitles over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I did do Love is Blind Habibi though. That was great.
My mom said the Mexico one was so great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, because you speak Spanish, so you'll be able to like watch it and like
maybe, yeah. Likely.
Yeah, Habibi, I did it because of Chris. She's Lebanese, and so like we had to do it. But not that we had to, but it was just, and it's also like such a different culture that like having it be on that culture is so interesting. It was just such a good
better
show.
Or worse?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah. Okay, good.
That was good because there's an added layer of like Islam and the different levels of Islam that you're practicing. And then the people are just so much smarter and intelligent because they not only do they speak English, but they also speak Arabic. Like all of them. No one is like in there not speaking a second language.
Yeah.
Like even though like ones who were like Lebanese spoke French.
Okay.
And then like maybe a little bit of Arabic, but it was all very much like that. And then when you got home, when they did the home like stuff, it's just different because their parents are like, what is this show you're doing? what's happening? And like all of a sudden the very traditional things come out of like, before we truly get engaged, like you've got to meet my family and my parents need to approve.
Right.
Like we're doing the Western wedding, but we're also doing the Islamic
The
wedding.
cultural one, yes.
Yeah. And like, you know, the women who are making money, all of them are successful. But like some of the men expecting them to take a back seat and then being like, no, babes.
Right. And
Like,
also my dad said no.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, yeah, like, no, babes. I'm so sorry. Did you think that you were getting that
Right.
woman? Like, yes, I'm demure.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
make money. So like, if you can't provide me a lifestyle, which me quitting my job makes sense, don't ask me to do shit.
No.
And so it was a lot of that, but it was done very over. It was done very covertly. Like the women weren't necessarily aggressive by American standards, but they were aggressive
by their
by
own.
Middle Eastern standards.
Yes.
And so it was just very interesting. This one woman, I mean, her name was Karma. She was like the queen bee. The guy was like, you can't be dancing anymore. All she did was like belly dance or whatever, but not in public and just like as a part of her culture. And he was like, oh, you need to stop that. And she was like, She like, the whole time. And then like gets to the end, she's like, I cannot. Sorry. It's a part of my culture. And it was all very
That's
demure.
it.
And he
At the
was
end of the day, it's true though, because I don't need to explain much, but no thanks.
He was shocked that she said no.
Yeah.
He was like, and she was like,
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah. It was like, every day she came with a fan. She was just like she was a bad bitch. Okay, anyways. Anyways, so moving on to episode 7, we have Brittany says to the producer that he should not have come to this show if he was grieving. So this is after that, the end of episode 6, Brittany and Devontae end up having a conversation where she's like, you're pulling away from me. You're making me uncomfortable. And I try to talk to you about it and nothing has changed. And he's like, I'm so sorry that someone in my family literally is dead and I'm having a hard time processing it. So like the fact that you're coming up to me and with all this shit is weird because like my grandfather's no longer here and I'm in paradise. And she's like, so she gets up and walks away and she goes outside and she cries and she tells the producer, beginning of episode 7, he should not have come here if he's feeling this way. Because like, as much as I get it, like there's still a part of me that requires constant, unstopping
reassurance and validation.
And validation.
I thought it was interesting that she felt the need to loop in the producers in that moment. A lot of times this tension is unpacked between the couples, or they'll isolate or they'll do other things, but involving the producers, I thought that was like, I don't know what was the intended outcome with that. I don't know if she wanted them to be like, oh, well, we gave him an out, or like because this was after the pods, before the trip. So I don't know, maybe they said to him like, do you want to see your family? Because they obviously communicated the news, because they take your phones and all that stuff. So they obviously knew the information. That's how he knew it in the pods. I didn't know what she wanted out of going to the producers, because she stepped out into the hallway, was speaking loud enough that he obviously heard it, because that's when he went after her and was like, do you want to talk about this? And I think a part of me felt that it was like, maybe he was like, this is going to air worse than it is. You know what I mean? I thought it was a weird dynamic between them, because I understand grief and I understand what that feels like. And I understand that it comes and goes. There'll be moments where you could be like, oh yeah, like you're laughing. And then like you'll have a cognizant moment where you'll come back to reality and you're like, oh, fuck. And like you kind of get yourself back in the reality of like, shit, my family's going through this. I'm going through this. And it's hard. I'm not saying that she needs to fully I don't know. I just thought it's like I understood her a little bit. I also understood him, but I also felt that he was using the grief to explain why he doesn't like her.
Yeah.
They don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't. I think that the producers are around a lot more than what we can understand.
Okay.
And so I think she's upset and she's crying and she walks away and a producer is like, hey, Brittany, are you okay? And so they ask her if she's okay, because it's not just one producer. It is 6 of them on each couple. And each person in the couple has one producer that's there for them.
Really?
So what you're not realizing is that it's 3 cameras set up in every room, every space, everyone's mic'd. So there is a person who is paying attention to the mics for every 2 people, if not every 1 person. The amount of crew that is surrounding them that we don't see is way more than you'd ever think would be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think each of them have their own producer, or 2 of them have the same producer
Mm-hmm.
that is
Mm-hmm.
trying to help them navigate this and calm them down and provide information and whatever. And so when we hear her talking to the producer, I don't think she's loud enough. I think she's mic'd. And so we can hear it because we're watching it as audience member, and she has a mic on. And it's probably been some time because he's different, and his producer has spoken to him and been like, what's going on? And so then they're like, okay, can we do something where you guys just kind of talk it through? And they're like, okay.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
So it's just all produced. You're right.
Yeah.
And so the fact is that I think it's very interesting that everyone wants to stand up for themselves in a way that I don't feel like it's conducive to being in a real partnership. I think that sometimes when if I tell you this is how you're making me feel, and your response is, I hear that, but also like this is how I feel. I
Then you
always
didn't hear
feel
me at all.
you didn't hear me at all. I think the response or like when it's like, well, then don't make me feel this way because this is how I feel. Like if your feelings are valid, my feelings are valid too. It's like, no, I hear you. I get that you get to a quiet place and you don't want to talk. I think where my insecurity comes in is that when you're not in the quiet place, there's an ample opportunity for you to reinforce and to make me feel good. And you don't. So it's like, I just need something. And so he ends up we could talk about it in the latter episodes of like what he ends up saying to her regarding that. And then she says to him, you listen, if we have kids, you can't just stop talking to me. And I said, that is the truest thing ever. I always think it's so interesting that people go from the pods to either Cabo or the real life, and they are unable to control themselves or actually see themselves for who they are when they shut down. And it's like, if you're not able to see it to stop the behavior, when someone calls you out on it, to be defensive of it is stupid. Like, don't be defensive of it. Be open to the fact that there are things about yourself that you're not aware of because you are not looking at yourself from the outside in most of the time. So, like, she's absolutely correct. Like, he's talking about he's ready, he wants to be married, he wants the soccer, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. And the moment he gets frustrated or his quiet place, he thinks that he can shut down from his wife. Oh no, babes. Not with kids.
I agree. And I feel like people recognize those behaviors and are willing to correct those behaviors when they like someone.
Yes, I think your kids.
And I
Yeah.
I think that's the gaping hole in all of this. I've been in relationships with people where I isolate. Something comes up and right away they clock it, and I'm just in my own corner, got to get myself together, trying to work through it, and I'll come back maybe if I'm feeling like I can get over it or work through it, whatever. And then those have been people that I've liked, and those have been people that I've been like, but there's been distrust or there's been whatever. And then I've dated men where there's situations and I don't say anything about my isolation. I feel a way about something. I go out into my corner. I become avoidant. I isolate. And I've had this happen to me once where homie's like, I can sense a shift in your energy, and I would love to talk about it and let me know how I can support you. And I'm like, interesting. What's that about? And then he's like, and then whatever I share about whatever the reason is, whether it's because of him or not, And the response I've gotten is, "Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I understand where you're coming from. I can recognize where I could have done better. But I would love if you could stay open and let's continue to talk this through." And I remember being like, "Oh, okay." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and because I like this person, because he was patient, I guess, and curious about my energy and behavior, it disarmed me a bit.
Yeah.
And I was able to then change my perspective slightly, where I was like, forgot about the problem, not to a full extent, but I started to shift and be like, "Oh, how I'm behaving is not helpful to this."
Yeah.
He's focused on repair,
Yeah.
and I'm focused on whatever the issue is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can both focus on both things because we don't want the issue to come up again, perhaps. But if we move forward, considering the fact that repair is what we want
Yeah.
because we like each other, we
Yeah.
will navigate through it.
Yes.
And what I'm describing is somebody I'm with right now, and I'm like, "My God, you got me together, okay." But even through that, there's growth for me in that.
Yeah. Yeah. You
But
know
it
what's
happens when
crazy?
you like someone.
It's like how do regular not regular how do people who don't have therapy or aren't doing the work maneuver through this? Maybe that's the reason why people are constantly fighting. They're just
Find
like,
vices, we know that.
everywhere on TikTok, like, like, oh my god. There's so much arguing and fighting amongst couples on TikTok.
Mhm.
And I think to myself, or on social media, and I think to myself, it's because they're not doing the work. It's because none of them have the wording, none of them
Mhm.
have the emotional maturity, none of them have the therapy, none of them have any of this, and they're just like animals roaming this earth, just behaving however the fuck they want to behave. And these are the people who are procreating,
Ooh,
creating other animals who are running around behaving however they want to
right.
behave. And it's just like, it's crazy to me because I spend so much time thinking about how I affect other people, how other people affect me, how, like, even friendships, that's how it comes out and manifests in me more. I was talking to my therapist and I was like, I was telling her how a friend of mine who, like, I've kind of gotten closer with because we like work together in doing certain things. And I was like, "Oh yeah," I said, "This bitch told me X, Y, and Z." And my therapist was like, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, so at this point, I'm just here for the plot." And like, she's like, she's like, "Yeah, I could tell that you're just here." I was like, "Yeah, she and I are not going to be friends. Like, we're cool,
Mm,
but she and I will never be friends because of this specific behavior that happened. And I know I can't talk to her about it because she does not have the emotional intelligence to
that's
take in what
frustrating.
I'm saying and do anything. So now every interaction with her, I'm gonna still remain her friend because I find it interesting and I want to see where this is gonna go.
But you're
But
not gonna get deep in the
I'm not gonna get
friendship,
deep.
right? You'll stay
I
at the
am here
surface.
for the plot at this point.
Yeah.
And my therapist is like, "Okay, well, let's see where this goes. Like, maybe we
Yeah.
can learn something from this." Because I was like, yeah, I just want you to know that sometimes I just do things because
Yeah,
or
let me see this
remain.
through.
Yeah,
You're just
see it
curious.
through, my boy. I want to see how
Yeah, a
this
student of
is gonna
life,
go.
if you
Yeah,
will. Yes.
yes. And so it's like, but if I were trying to, like, build a relationship where I'm talking about
Mm,
having children with somebody,
yeah.
oh, the lines of communication if we're having kids need
Yeah.
to be, I mean, there needs to be no division. We need to be on the same page. We need to be able to reconnect. We need to, like, in
Mhm.
fact, sometimes I think, like, if I were ever in a relationship, every 3 years we got to sit down and have a good talking
3
about where we want
years?
to go. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I would say this, listen, my cousin and her husband, they've been together for 7 years. She says that they'll have a biweekly check-in, but not anything elaborate, but just like, "Hey, we got 30 minutes today. Let's just how are you feeling? Are we good? Are you mad at me about something? Is there?" And
Well,
a lot
yeah.
of times it'll be, yeah, like surface stuff, but I'm with you. A deep brief is like, get out the PowerPoint, get out
Yeah.
the projector. Let's
Where
run
are we
down the
going?
list.
We've been in this for 3 years. Are we
Yeah.
gonna buy a house? Are we ready for that? Or are we gonna get
Yeah.
married? Are we ready for that? Do
Right.
we want kids? Are we ready for that?
Right. Have we
Where do you
changed our minds from
have
the
we
last
Yes, for the
time?
last 3 years. Like, where
Mhm.
are we right now? Are we still in a good space?
Yeah.
Okay, boom. So for the next 3 years, we're gonna work and we're gonna go
Yes.
towards the goal. At the end of that 3 years, we're gonna have this conversation again.
Yep.
Where are we? You still fucking
How do
in
you think
love?
we did?
Yeah.
Did we hit revenue? Have
Yeah.
we met our targets? Have we
Yes.
It's
Like, are
true.
we still in love? Like, what's going on? Okay, I'm not in love with you as much as I was, because like before it was kind of like whatever, but when I asked you to do whatever 3 days in a row and you didn't, that fucking just took me out of it. I am so sorry. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. I communicated with you at the time.
Yeah.
You weren't able to hear me, but like, if we want to get back to where we were, like, I need you to really be a partner to me.
Yeah.
I can't be running up behind you trying to
Yeah.
tell you to do it. Anyways,
Right. But I think the thing with Brittany was that the message was accurate, what she was saying. Like, when we get deeper, when we have other people we're responsible for, when we are creating a life and a family and a household, this is unacceptable. Moving
yeah,
this
your
way is
quiet
unacceptable.
place.
She's
Mm-mm.
not wrong about that.
Yeah.
In his mind, he was like, "I'ma say no to you anyway." So what you're saying to me is not landing. It's not landing with him because he's not even thinking about kids. 'Cause to me, there's no way he says yes. There's
Yes.
no way. I don't know.
Yes.
And if I'm her, there's no way I say yes. So I'm not
Yes.
saying no. So
Yeah.
that's why I think like she is correct and he's not trying to hear it
Yeah. And he's not even trying to pretend like he's trying
at
to hear it.
all.
So he says, like, she's like, I don't think that you're easy for you're ready or for all that this entails. And he's like, I think I am. This has just been a lot. And when
She's
he
been giving
said,
him an out so many times. And every time she does, he says, "No, but I am." And I'm like, "Bruh, take
you're
the
not.
moment.
Yeah.
Lean in.
Yeah, you're not.
Admit it."
He's like,
Men are
I
so
think I'm ready,
fucking
but this has been a
cowardly.
lot. And I'm like, it's always going to be a lot, bro. The whole thing is a lot.
Marriage is a lot.
It's
Yes,
a lot.
correct.
What do you mean you're ready, but
That's why
this
it's a
is a
big
lot?
deal
This
because
is
it is
not
a
just
lot.
like a second of like whatever. The whole fucking situation is a lot. You got to buy a house. Y'all got to save up $100,000 and just let it sit in the bank account. Both of you got to put in 50K. Like, that's a lot. Like, being able, all your cars need new transmissions. That's a fucking lot. Like, the whole process is a lot. It's all not just like, it could be happiness and bubbles when you are not financially tied, because you can come to each other's rescue. You can, manage your own funds. But when you gotta do shit together, it's a lot. So you're not ready. So anyways, they're all back in the US now, and they're all calling their families, and everybody's like, "Oh, mom, this is such and such. Oh, blah blah blah, like blah blah blah." Alex's mom has moved to Arizona and got a new job.
And did not tell him.
And that is not their relationship. And I said, that is crazy. I know what my parents are doing almost an hour to hour basis, and I don't live in the same state as them. Like, if I don't know, I'm checking in with the person who does know. I'm like, what are they doing? Where is dad? I will FaceTime. I'm like, where are you? I look at his location.
Right.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you would not know that your mother got a new job and is now driving a tractor trailer in Arizona.
I know why. Because she's a paid actor. That is not his mom. I don't know who that lady is. He don't know who that lady is. He's never heard her voice before, and vice versa. I don't know who that lady is. When I heard that, I was like, he just called any old body. Because they said, "Hey, call your family, here are your phones. We're recording it, and go." And he was like, no, not gonna call my real mom. Calling a stranger.
Yeah.
And that's why I was just, "Oh, hey, Ashley. Oh, you're engaged. Oh." This was brand new information.
It was very weird.
I really believe that in my core. I do. I'm not even trying to be like joking.
Crazy.
I don't think that was a real family member.
That'd be so interesting if there wasn't. Ashley is like, damn, you don't even know where your parents, what do you know what your kids are doing? It's 9 o'clock.
That's where I get it from.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm worried about this crazy, moving life. So I don't know in what context this is, but I wrote down, Brittany says Devante is very Christ-like. She doing
and that he is everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
And that he walks on water, and that he can turn
I remember
water into wine.
Saying that.
And I'm like, she's like, oh my God, it's great because he's just like very Christ-like. Who? Devante, who doesn't
Christ who?
Yeah. The Middle Eastern, the Jewish,
the carpenter
man, the Jewish man who would have dated women of color.
But you're right.
The one who loved Mary Magdalene, the whore. Like, I just need you to define
That was his
Christ-like.
mother.
No, there's two Marys. There's his mother and there's
Oh,
Mary
yes,
Magdalene.
yes.
And Mary Magdalene was a prostitute.
Oh my
And but like,
gosh. Devontae. Not that Devontae.
and also apparently this man doesn't actually go by Devontae. He actually goes by Devo. I heard.
No, what? Devo.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that was supposed to make him sound less black, but I was like, oh, you've never seen Friday. Because if you saw Friday,
Debo.
then you would know that Debo. So anyway it goes, you would need to go by Devin. And then that brings me to the other MAGA Devin.
Every Devin I know is black.
Yeah.
I don't know a white Devin.
But then remember the not 90, the Love After Blind Devin with the white mom and the black dad, and that one who got with a black woman and she had to say no to him because he couldn't like say that he wasn't conservative. Like he was like he didn't want to say, yeah, the one with the receding hairline. His name was Devin.
Buried that memory too. Yeah.
So they go to, everyone now is going to each other's homes, and Amber goes to Jordan's home, and it's cool. Like it's not crazy. It's not crazy decorated. I feel like the only reason why my apartment is half decorated is because I've seen shows like this where people don't decorate, because I don't have the skill set to do so. Like I feel like my mother never really did it. She just filled the house up with like glass vases, and like whatever. She never really had the eye for it. So I never like got it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like forcing myself to like put art pieces on my wall in order to feel like, oh, this is a home, but my bedroom, there ain't nothing on my wall.
But I feel like for most men that I know, it's quite bare essentials.
Yes.
It's not, and it's not necessarily like a frat house.
Yeah.
But it's the basics.
Yeah.
What you need, and not a smidge more.
Yeah, not a smidge more. And all of them, did you notice that every last single one of them, except for Alex, because we didn't see his home, has some kind of man cave?
Or Devontae.
Even though their whole home is to them by themselves.
Yes, I was so surprised by that. I'm like, you have a man cave, but you live alone.
Yeah.
And you're a man. So the whole house is the cave, is it not?
The whole house.
You just have a game room.
House. Like, do women or women she shed just like
right?
Well, also, like, is this just the place where you and your homeboys hang out? Is that what you call it, the man cave? But you don't need to have a separate space for you because you live by yourself.
Yeah, like maybe that's where they entertain.
I guess it was.
But weird. I don't see them being like hosts. Like, come
because,
over, have charcuterie, and
except for Connor, because he has a keg, so he hosts. So Jordan and Amber do that. We see Jordan's home's not bad. We see Amber's home. It's cute. She's done a lot of, refurbishing of her space. And then we've got Vic and Christine.
Whose home we also.
I don't remember theirs.
Well, no. We didn't see
no, I see. We didn't see them. We went to see her mother.
Right.
That's what it was.
In rural Ohio, I'm assuming.
I don't know. No, it wasn't even in rural Ohio. It was like, I took a picture of that, but I guess I didn't upload it.
But I think right before that, we get them. I can't remember if this was this episode or not, where they are walking through the park and they're having a conversation around.
It wasn't this episode. It
wasn't this one. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's episode 9.
Okay. Then maybe I don't think we got anything after the trip. I think there was a scene where they played tennis, or they were playing pickleball, something like that.
Yeah. No,
that may have been here, but
I took a picture of her mother because I said, "Oh, this is Christine's future." So I'll just leave that where it is. I won't post it. But you
nice lady.
Very nice.
Very nice lady.
And so the mother's very excited to meet Vic, and
they talk about.
Yeah, they talk about their road to Christ or whatever, and their Christianity, and how they didn't have she's like, and let's face it, her father was a jerk and wasn't a good dad, and like we're all working through it. But the mom watched the show. She went through and watched it so that she could be able to have a conversation with them. And I said, I love that, because there's so many people who are so shocked after 10 seasons of what this show is.
Yeah.
And they don't go back and just do the research that is so easy to do on Netflix.
Yeah. Right.
And so they're all very confused because the mom's like, oh yeah, and then you guys did this. Oh, okay. So you didn't see each other, and like blah blah. So she was very like with it or whatnot. And she's always like, you know what? I watched it and I realized that Christine didn't fit the mold. She wasn't like some of these girls, and I was like, what do you mean Christine didn't fit the mold? What are you saying about your
I think what
daughter?
she meant was the pick me stuff around that. That's how I took it.
Oh,
That it's
okay,
like,
okay.
yeah, she's not like she hasn't lived her life being like so eager, like, oh my God, I want a husband
Yeah,
and all that. And it sounds like she's really rooted in her faith. She
yeah,
doesn't seem to be one of those obnoxious believers who tries
absolutely.
to recruit people and do all that stuff. She seems like it's hers and her business, and she keeps it close to the chest. So it seems like Christine seems like someone really grounded.
Yes.
And I feel like throughout her life, she's probably had the mindset of like, my time will come and I will meet my person, and God will give me the resources or the tools. And if that, maybe that's getting poached by Netflix, maybe that's whatever the path looks like. And she's
Yeah,
just going to stay the course. That's what I
yeah.
think that her mom meant, that like, yeah, she's never been out here being like, oh my God, I need a boyfriend, I need a boyfriend, I need a boyfriend, like hungry and eager and desperate and all that.
Brittany, but she's
That's
never been Brittany.
that's what I assumed from it. I have
Yeah.
no way to prove that, but that's
No,
kind of what I
that's a good thing, because that's a good like point of view, because I felt like the mom was definitely, because Christine said I didn't want to like come out and be like, are you Christian immediately? She's like, I wanted to take my time, and he was the one who
right.
actually brought it up, and like, yeah. So I do actually think that was a astute point. So thank you for that. So yeah, she talks about how the dad was a jerk, and then we move on to Bree seeing Connor's space, and she says that he looks like a frat boy. He still has his Christmas tree up. And
She
he's
tore
like,
that man apart.
yeah, she did, because she talks a lot, and that's just like someone who does just off the rip says whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, he did have some issues though, like the fact that like she's like, if you don't have a headboard, that's like and I was like, she's right. If you don't have a headboard, that's a problem.
I
Now
don't have a headboard.
he had his granny's bed.
I
You
don't have
know,
a
you have
I had just
you just have a
because
frame.
I grew up with a headboard all my life. I have the base. I didn't want a headboard. Like
Oh,
I bought like a stencil artwork that like serves as the distance of a headboard, but it's not a headboard. I grew up with one all my life and I was like, "Oh, I'm over it."
oh,
But
but
for
I thought
men, I think that makes sense because men aren't gonna do other stuff to supplement the headboard.
yeah, to me, I never even like, I'm trying to think. In the house I grew up in, I was in bunk beds, and then
Mhm.
when I finally did have my own bed, I did not have a headboard. I just like, yeah, I didn't. Um, because I think my parents were just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was a bunk bed, or it was a day bed. Oh, so I guess I did, because it was a day bed.
Mm.
And then my first apartment, yes, I did have, because I bought myself a 4-poster
Mhm.
canopy bed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
anyway, because I was like, I'm British.
Yeah.
I want to live, pretend like I'm in a
Yeah.
British castle.
Castle.
Uh, yeah. But anyways, no. But he shows another bed that he has, and it looks like his grandma's bed. Like it looks like a bed from like the 70s or like
Mhm.
the 60s, which I was like, I'm not mad at it. Um, I like it.
He
I
did the
like
dishes.
a sturdy wood bread.
Yes.
Yeah, he did the dishes. Also, like his like security system with that one hook, and how she like busted in his home.
She
Yeah,
I did not disagree there. I was
yeah,
like, "This is not I'm not staying here."
yeah. However, it is wherever they are in Ohio, and I guess no
Right,
one's gonna come up and try
right.
to like test the doors. So then we move on to Alex, and Alex meets Ashley's parents. Let me tell you about Ashley's dad. That man went in on Alex in a way that I was like, this is uncomfortable to watch, because at this point it does not
Mhm.
feel genuine. It just feels like he's trying to catch him up.
Yep.
And Alex was so woefully inadequate with it, but he
Mhm,
just kept using words and saying things. And so it made it seem like he was maybe doing something. And he's like, what have you learned about Ashley? That she's independent, she's strong and confident, which is such an interesting thing to say, because I feel like it's such a generic thing. It's like,
mhm,
for some reason, there's this like trope that women are not independent, strong, and
mhm.
confident. And so when you have one, it's some kind of outlier. And I'm like, because I get that a lot. They're like, oh, you're very confident, or you're very independent. And I'm like,
As opposed to what?
as opposed to what? Like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I
Right.
don't have a husband. Like, I don't have, this is not my, what?
Yeah, yeah,
Shouldn't we all be these things? But we're not. I
yeah.
get it. But like, it's just weird.
But I think it's because Alex only pays attention to Alex. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Alex has been paying attention to Ashley at all outside of having sex with her.
yeah. She talks about her father is a provider and a protector, and I'm
Ugh,
like, he doesn't seem like he protects anything, but that's just me.
nothing.
I don't know what he would protect. He's been a divorce lawyer for 41 years. He gives some sage advice. He's like, don't go to sleep mad at each other. You know, don't ever call them something. Don't ever call them a name that they'll never forget. Like,
Mhm.
keep your words to yourself. And then he's like, "Who'd you vote for?" And he's like, "I'm definitely conservative, and I would have voted for Trump if I could have." And everything at the bottom fell out for me.
I
Disgusted.
also hate the social media response to that because people, admittedly, Alex is full of shit. Multiple things can be true in this situation. Alex is full of shit, absolutely. The dad clocked that he's full of shit, and you're right, was antagonizing the shit out of him. That was not a conversation.
Yeah.
That was an interrogation. That was
Yeah.
a deposition. That
Yeah.
was a lawyer's position trying to, and like I was saying, ask hard-hitting questions. None of those questions were hard-hitting. They were
Yeah.
quite basic, quite standard. But he thought that he was like in a courtroom,
Yeah.
which, to be fair, to be a divorce lawyer, you don't really need courtroom experience.
Correct.
And so it's all like transactional
And
paperwork.
the dad
That's
also thought that he was like, he had
He
killed
thought he
it too.
was crushing
This
it.
shit. Yeah.
And because Ashley was like, he's a protector and provider and get emotional over that, I'm like, your daddy looks like he's never been slapped in his life. He cannot fight.
Ever.
He cannot
He's
fight.
Yeah, he cannot
No.
fight.
He will
Also, he's a
fold like a
provider.
lawn chair.
He's a provider.
By way of profession, yes, because
Yeah.
he's a practicing attorney.
Yeah.
Fair enough. He's been doing it for a long period of time. And you live in rural Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm sure that his
Money goes,
$80K or whatever
yeah.
goes a long way. Good for
Yeah.
y'all. He's living within his means. He was able to raise a family. Good for y'all.
Yes.
However, I'm seeing the feedback of that episode, and everyone's like, the dad is amazing. The dad needs to host a reunion. And I'm like, that piece of shit, I never want to see him again in my life. If I never saw him for those however many minutes, I'd be better for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't give a shit about him, and I never want to see him again.
Yeah, the dad was
They belong together.
annoying.
They're shitty.
Yeah, their dad was fucking annoying, and the fact that basically she's like, yeah, my dad just kept us in Gucci, and like that's what's really important to me. And like, and so now she's like, oh, you're not gonna keep me in Celine and Gucci, and not Gucci is wrong. You're not gonna keep me in Celine. You're not gonna keep me in the lifestyle that my father can keep me in because we live in rural Ohio. You want to move someplace? I mean, Arizona and like Scottsdale and whatever part of
you can make it work.
Yeah, you can make it work there because Scottsdale is the rich part of Arizona, and Arizona itself is
so
a red state, and it is affordable.
Yeah.
And so, but a lot of times these people are like, oh, I'm so conservative, I'm all these things. And I'm like, it's because you're living in a red state right now that like doesn't really have the issues that other people have the issues of. But like, is there one red state that is like holds a candle to the economy of the blue states? No. Without California and New York City, this country would fall apart economically.
And Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Illinois.
This country would fall apart economically without the blue states.
Yep.
And the blue states are the ones with all the immigrants that you're scared of.
Right.
And all the taxes is the reason why this country is quote unquote so great. So like,
and the blue states are often highly ranked in things like education.
Yes.
And quality of life. And yeah.
So it's like, what are you even talking about? You're a conservative because you've lived in states where being conservative works for you.
Because your parents told you to be and you don't know any better and you can't think critically.
Yeah. Anyways. So he gets through that and and we're like, oh great. So now where he does call him out on, which I thought was hilarious, is he's like, how old was your grandfather when he died? My man said 67. I said, your grandfather didn't make it to 70? What y'all doing in this? What y'all life is like? So he was like working with his hands, his body. So that's what I first thought was like, oh, he was working in some kind of like field where like his body was negatively affected by it. Because he was like, yeah, he went to Afghanistan and Iraq and he did all this stuff. He died at 67. I was like, okay, was he eating a bunch of rich, caloric, like buttery foods that clogged his heart? Then he's like, my grandparents were married for 53 years. And the dad was like, that's impossible. And I was like,
even though I don't think that's impossible.
If they got married at 17, 53 minus 67.
Like my grandmother got married
14.
At 15. My grandmother's 88 years old right now. She got married at 15 years old. And my grandfather was 17.
Okay.
And my grandfather passed away last year, and they were married since then. And my grandfather died at 95. He got married at 17.
That's crazy.
But that's what I mean. That's why when hearing the conversation, I was like, wait, I don't understand what's weird about that. That checks out. That is, like that's both sides of my grandparents.
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
married at like, but again, I think it's different in
In the US.
immigrant,
Yeah.
which is my background. But so I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about his family. But it's weird because he said he was raised by them. But then when he mentions, "Oh, my aunt told me that they were married that long." Hold on, I thought you were there. They were raised by
Yeah.
them. What
Yeah.
is the truth?
Yeah. It's the same thing with like Steven and Hins coming up with his story about the World War II. It's like you can only go so far to
Yes.
tell that story without like people clocking you and checking you in on it, because like otherwise it's like, what? Like there's a lot of
Carry the
people who
one.
love to romanticize like marriage and like, yeah, I want to have the same kind of marriage as my grandfather, who died at 67. You want that marriage? Ben died at 67? Because
Pass.
that means you only got 22 years left.
Mhm.
30 at the on the
Yeah.
outskirts.
Start
Like,
wrapping it up because
yeah,
you're on your way out.
start doing everything you got to do now, because
Yeah.
you might as well retire now. You might as well
Yeah.
retire in 10 years because you're gonna die soon. So like,
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, he was just like, well, that's what my aunt told me, and I'm like, don't be regurgitating. That's how your aunt told you. Like,
Mhm.
you've been telling producers this entire time that your grandparents were married for 53 years, and that's what you want to model your life after. And now that it's put under a microscope, it turns out to not even be true. So like, what's the real deal?
He's
Her
not used to
father
people
says that
applying pressure.
he is not good at being honest. Like he doesn't know him very well, but he could tell that. Um and so he's like, what do you bring to the table as a father? Convince me that you're real, because I'm the patriarch of this family. And I
That was
said,
crazy.
that's crazy for you to say that you're the patriarch of a family. You don't even have grandchildren. You're not a patriarch yet.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
I
don't
wanted
even
to
know
be
how
like,
long you're.
prove to me that what?
Yeah.
I don't have to prove nothing to you.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm already with your
Yeah.
daughter.
I was like, patriarch is like what I think of in like Knives Out, or like, like where it's like it's an old man
What?
who's like
Yeah.
95 and who's taking care of not only the grandchildren but the great grandchildren as well,
Yes.
because his oil mill or still factory, not only did it take care of his family but also took care of several families in the small town that's named after him. That's a fucking patriarch.
Yeah.
Or like
Right.
you sir, with your law degree that you got 50 years ago. Uh mm-mm. And it also doesn't feel like he also gives me the energy that he doesn't leave space for his children to even ascend his throne. Like, she's like, "Oh, I'm daddy's little girl." And or like, "I love my dad so much," or whatever. And then the brother didn't hardly say much of nothing. The brother doesn't look like he's taken over the dynasty. The brother looks
No.
like he's just
Yeah.
there.
But I mean, think about it. When you grow up with this energy of a parent around you, the mom didn't say more than 3 words the entire time as well. Again, it could be editing, who knows? But this is a household that was told, you asked your father, what did your father say? What does your father think? And you struggle to have an independent thought because
Yeah.
either he will change it for you
Yeah.
or correct you,
Yeah.
and you will never know what it's like to actually stand on your 2 feet because he's been spoon feeding you since he had to spoon feed you.
Yes. And I also think that his wife doesn't look like she's the wife of a lawyer. Like, either she doesn't have a career of herself, or
Doubt
like
it.
there's just something like that is very second. She's not like, not second in command, but she's like a second citizen. She gave me second
She's like the
citizen.
3rd child.
Yeah, she gave me that. And I
Mhm,
mean, who's to say that that's true or not? She could just be a very well-rounded woman who's quiet and like very much owns her own business and is
mhm,
like living her best life, but that's not what was giving. It wasn't giving a woman who's keyed into like the beauty standards of today and
mhm.
nor cares about them. She's just like she looks like somebody's grandma,
Like
actually. She
going
don't even
around
look
for the
like
ride. Right,
she
yeah.
don't look like somebody's mom. But anyways, I was just like, that's disgusting. Um, he said honesty is not his strength, and the dad said that he enjoyed the night immensely. He had a great time grilling Alex and making everybody uncomfortable, and so he had a hee-haw great time. So then we move on to Mike and Emma laying in bed talking about their pending nuptials and how it's coming up in 3 weeks. And he says, listen, there's some things I got to talk about, because I know I said that I would let you take time to decide, but it's been 5 days since we're in the pod, and now the time is up. Do you want to have kids or not? And she's like, I thought I had time. And he's like, well, time goes by so slowly. So like, you know, we're here now. I need you to decide.
Yeah.
And she's
Trust your
just like,
passion.
yeah, I mean, and it's like everyone's like, yeah, she's like, it's okay, like you can ask me these questions, that's super valid. And I was like, no, it's not super valid. It's not until we get around her mom, which I'm skipping ahead, but it's not until we get around her mom who actually truly advocates for her. Even Emma puts down her mom advocating for her, because I don't think Emma understands that the way that everybody's coming at her about her want and choice to maybe not have kids is so inappropriate.
And selfish.
What do you mean?
Like, other people's opinions about why
Yes.
she should or shouldn't have kids, they're
Yes.
selfish because 'cause they're just looking at it from their own view of, like,
Yes.
either maybe wanting grandkids or maybe wanting, "Oh my god, but you'll be like, they want stuff for her without listening to what she wants for self.
Yes. And so her mother's trying to advocate for her on that, but she's like, "No, I understand everybody's perspective." And I was like, "Babes, you don't have to understand everybody's
That's hers.
perspective. Your perspective is the correct one for you to have, and you don't need to worry about whether or not anyone is accepting it, or you understand that people want kids. Like, I'm really sick of the narrative that like not wanting kids, especially if you're a woman, because if you're a man who doesn't want kids, no one will ever check you on it.
Yep.
But a woman who doesn't want kids, not just can't have them or whatever, who doesn't want children, is seen as such a like selfish individual that we've got to break that mold.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there are too many people on earth for us to be like every woman needs to have a kid or should want or have some kind of maternal instinct. There are plenty of people having children.
Right. And there are plenty of children already out there.
Plenty of children that need help.
Homes and support and love and
This idea of like, like certain countries have done like incentives to women. Like I know Russia has like a very like comprehensive like maternity leave and like really wanting to support women having children and like, making it like difficult for men to wiggle out of paying child support or not supporting a woman if she gets pregnant, things like that, which I think in the long run can be good, especially in a society where like men get away with murder. But like to be like, oh, the birth rate is going down, like we got to do something. Like this whole talk about Korea and the Korean women choosing to not have kids as some kind of like fuck you to men. I was like, yeah, maybe it seems like that on the surface, but it's probably like
we
just don't want to.
It's not a fuck you to nobody.
Yeah.
It's just
It's just a personal
it's a yay
choice.
me. It's not a
It's
fuck
already
you.
expensive to live here.
Yeah.
And there's no support if you especially if you have a kid out of wedlock. So like, why would I be forced into a marriage with a man that I don't necessarily want to be? It's like there's so much more to the world than just being booed up or being in a relationship and having children with someone. So like, I don't know. Mike wants her to say yes to wanting to have kids because his best friends are having kids.
That was annoying. When he started to name, I just got back and when I got my phone, this one friend said they're expecting, this other friend is on his second, this other friend. And I'm like, I hate that men move for the approval of other men.
Yeah.
Like, if you want other men, that's fine too. Go live your truth. But don't try to manipulate the women in your life because you want to showcase something to your other male friends. Stop.
You know what I really wish that there were? I wish that there was a way for men who really want to have kids to just go on ahead and pay for a surrogate to give them a baby and let them take care of that baby by themselves.
No, but that would mean they would have to provide the financial support, emotional support, day-to-day support, physical, everything. And men don't want that. Because think about it. Men just say, I want kids. Men never say, I want to be a father. These are different.
But very, I mean, some of these men here will say that they want to be a father. And I think that like, yeah, there are, I think heterosexual men who want to have children have a very, like they can't imagine having children on their own. Now, a gay man or a man who's not going to be with a woman is very different. Like I can get that. Like, but a heterosexual man who sees themselves in a relationship with a woman, either during the procreation or the birth or even a little bit afterwards, there's still this idea that like you're the secondary parent to this kid. And if you're an all-in balls to the wall dad, that you need a pat on the back because you did it. Whereas like a woman has no leeway.
Yep.
If she gives up a child, she's damned because she had a child, she gave that child up. And then that child ends up feeling abandoned. even
Mhm.
though like circumstance, like I just think we need to change the entire narrative
Yeah.
when it comes to how we think about marriages and how we think about kids, and kids, going to orphanages or being
Mhm.
adopted, and this like negative idea that we just have about it as a society, that there's something to be shamed about and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot to unpack with Emma. She needs to go to therapy, because seeing her
100%.
segment with her parents and everything that we thought must have been the issue with her, it was not the issue.
Right. Right. I think, yeah, Emma going on this show was premature, is what I'll say. Maybe she shouldn't be on the show at all ever, but definitely premature. She needs to be rerouted to some therapy for her own sake.
Rerouted.
For her own sake, and that's not even, like, joking, like, there's a lot she needs to unpack, and it will
Mhm.
do her a load of good
Yeah, it
to
will.
go
It will.
and do that. There's a lot of stuff in that, again, in those scenes with her parents where I was, like, surprised to hear her parents' thoughts on certain things, where
Yeah.
I'm like, "What do you mean you had, excuse me, no idea?" Well, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I
We
was
talk
like,
about
"Baby
it.
girl, go to therapy."
Their therapy. Yeah. So, all right, you guys, that's the end of this episode. We're going to cut it off here. We'll talk about these episodes 8 and 9 in another episode. So please stay tuned for that. You can follow me on Just Call Me Wah everywhere, as you guys know. But Shay, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Sugar Shay, SugarShai, or on TikTok at Shailene Says.
Yes. Sorry about that. Got distracted. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. And we'll talk to you later. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you.